Hello everyone, I'm Tessa Proudfoot. Welcome to episode 4 of my series on how to elevate your interiors to 5-star status. Today I'm talking to you from the gorgeously elegant showroom of Mavromac and the Gatehouse in Carnival, Johannesburg. We are live on location here, so if there's a little bit of background noise, please just bear with us. Apart from supplying the creme de la creme of upholstery and curtaining fabrics to the industry, Mavromac and the Gatehouse also manufacture a lovely selection of classic sofas and armchairs, so I know you're going to be very inspired after we've given you a taste of their gorgeous pieces. We're going to be exploring how to go about purchasing a sofa, which is one of the largest, if not the most expensive pieces you will purchase for your home. So it's really important that you get it right. First off, you need to give proper thought to your lifestyle and decide how you are going to use the sofa. If it's going into a TV room where you're going to be wanting to chill out and lie back with your feet up, then you're going to need something slouchy and potentially have space in front of it for an ottoman or a footstool to put your feet on. If it's going in a living room where entertainment is generally for grown-ups and is geared around conversation and cocktails, then you're going to need something that is more upright with some back support so that you can sit upright comfortably rather than lounge. Your next step is to look at the space you have available to you. You always want to try and upscale to the largest size sofa that will fit in your space, obviously ensuring that you can walk around it and that you have sufficient breathing space for side tables. The larger the scale of the sofa, the larger will be your experience of the room. And naturally, we all want our rooms to feel bigger than they are, because that is what gives the feeling of sumptuous luxury that we are after. The average sofa seat height is 450 millimeters above ground level, with a back height of around 850 to 900 millimeters. The average inner seat depth is 600 millimeters. There's no hard and fast rule, but I find that these dimensions suit a more structured or upright sofa very well, but you need to modify them if you're wanting to go more relaxed. For that really sumptuous lie back and chill feeling, I recommend that you go for a lower seat of around 350 to 400 millimeters with an inner seat depth of around 700 to 750 millimeters, which allows you to pile on the soft scatter pillows and achieve that really laid back comfort. If you have a massive space to fill and lots of TV watching children, then I strongly suggest that you take a look at the Gatehouse family sofa. It is a massive 3 meters in length and 1.3 meters in depth. I absolutely love the generosity of its proportions, but of course not every home has this kind of space available. On the more structured side, I recommend looking at a sofa style that has simple lines rather than something that is overly detailed. I prefer either a small square, rolled or splayed arm instead of something that has large scrolls and lots of buttons, which may be wonderful initially, but you are definitely going to grow tired of it. Remember that you're in for quite a costly purchase here, so you want to keep things classic and simple. If you want to maximize seating, then you should consider a sectional sofa. Contrary to popular opinion, I think that a sectional sofa can work really well in either a small or a large space. It depends on the proportion of the sections and the height of the backrest. A lower back height takes up less visual space than a high back, which is important if you have an open plan area. Once you've decided on whether you're up for a slouchy design or you're preferring a more structured design, then you need to take a careful look at what's inside the sofa. It goes without saying that your inner frame needs to be constructed from a hardy timber with heavy-duty steel nails and screws for long-lasting support. For a softer, more sumptuous feel, I recommend covering the framework in a mixture of foam wrapped in down. This gives you a firm seat and back support base, but with the added gorgeous squishiness that you only get from feathers. The downside is that seat and back cushions will need to be plumped up after you've sat in them. If this is going to annoy you, then you should opt for new fill, which is a polyester fiber which mimics feather fairly closely, but it does bounce back once it has been sat on. If you're all about tailored structure, then you should stick with a dense memory foam fill and potentially a fixed seat rather than a cushioned seat. This type of fill requires no maintenance and looks crisp and smart, but it is not going to give you that cozy teddy bear vibe. And if you want to add a touch of plush, then you will need to add feather-filled scatter cushions or a cozy throw. Next up is to decide on the upholstery fabric. The choice of fabrics out there is absolutely overwhelming. And if you're anything like me, your eye is drawn to every beautiful new color and design trend that hits the high street. But I urge you to exercise caution and restraint. Put your blinkers on and ensure that your fabric of choice ticks the following boxes before you purchase. Number 1, does it have a dense, tightly woven construction? If you stretch the fabric between your hands, it should not have too much give. If there is movement, then you're going to end up with sagging and pulling, which will shorten the lifespan of your sofa. Number 2, can it be spot cleaned? By this, I mean, if you have a dirty mark, can the fabric be sponged off with a mild soap solution? If not, then you need to factor in the added cost and hassle of regular professional cleaning. Number 3, does it feel good to sit on? Certain fabrics look great from a distance, but they're no good if they feel scratchy, sticky, or slippery, because then you're going to end up sitting on the floor. Finally, and most obviously, does the color or print enhance the style of your home and give you joy whenever you look at it? As your sofa is probably going to be the most well-used piece of furniture in your home, you need to love it, and it needs to work for its living. Leather is a great upholstery choice if you have children and pets, but it's not that cozy, and it can be uncomfortable in hot climates. Linen, velvet, and boucle are also good choices, particularly if you opt for a lovely deep color such as a dark rust, a navy, or charcoal, as marks will be camouflaged, and being classic quality fabrics, they will work in most interior styles. Nowadays, there are a number of performance fabrics on the market which are super easy to spot clean. This has opened up a whole realm of options for going light and bright with your upholstery. My personal favorite choice has always been to go as close to white as possible, as white lends itself to absolutely any style of interior, and in our hot climate, it will always look chic and modern. Mavromac has a lovely easy clean option called Eton, which has a good strong weave and comes in 2 tones of white. Home Fabrics has some fantastic FiberGuard products too. My favorite is Color Wash Color Swap, and speaking from personal experience, this fabric is pet and child friendly, so you get all the chic without the stress of keeping it crisp and clean. So that's it for today, and I hope these tips that I've shared will be useful to you when you begin the process of finding your dream sofa. Stay inspired by making sure that you follow me on Instagram at Tessa Proudfoot Interiors, and please do show this episode some love. Feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.